to session. I believe this is session. Crap! I didn't look that up. Very professional D&D campaign here, people. We don't
super
even.
professional.
Yeah, we don't
Size
even
pro
remember.
The most professional campaign.
This is session 13 of
Holy crap,
yes,
that was right.
Session 13 of Echoes of the
14 or 15.
Echoes of the
I was
Astral
about
Sea.
to say.
Since I imagine that you might need a recap for what happened last week, the party went. We had a B team adventure, and the B team, which was Skirvo, Alis and Ornessa, Theron, and Mortimer, fought a kraken, and
Skirvo killed it.
Skirvo killed it.
From the inside, no less.
From being inside it, he literally attacked it by its brain, and it killed itself.
Listen, don't throw a kraken at a guy who knows everything there's possibly able to be known about a kraken.
And then
and is continuing to try to learn more.
And then they got Tail the Fairy from Nagathrod, and so that they can get into Golden Space later. And then they headed off to Force Space, had some rants about that. Skirvo and Ticker said they have a rebel contact that should be able to help them find Varut, and the party left towards Yavin 4 on a what was it, YT 1930, I think.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yep.
On a YT 1930 Corellian light freighter called the Isochronal, along with Celia. So we are going to pick right back up where we left off. So you are going through hyperspace, and after the ship is through hyperspace, Celia gathers all of you around the, in the like mess hall or whatever that room is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should probably pull up that map too, huh?
The hold table.
Yeah, she gathers you all around. She gathers you all there, and then just kind of sits down with you. So if you're going to be on the ship for a while, you probably have some questions about the ship, the crew, any of it. And
This ship or the other ship?
the Duchess. Or this ship.
Yes, Duchess. Yes, it's like
Nilo's not even sure where the hell to start.
I've noticed that this ship is entirely made of metal. Is that safe?
I look at you like you ask, is water drinkable? And I'm like, metal is superior to wood in every way.
I have yet to see a steel ship float.
That is also possible.
The rules of space travel and force space don't follow the same rules as most spheres, but we're also not in water. To answer your question, Bradley, force space is space travel is less three-dimensional than in most spheres. Most ships act as though they are on a two-dimensional plane, perhaps with a few different levels, so a few different stacked two-dimensional planes. No one's quite sure why that is.
Well, at the very least, this whatever form of FTL seems similar to slip space, though the acceleration into it's a bit rougher.
I'm more concerned by the fact that it looked as though the controls had to be followed a specific set of instructions.
Probably navigation coordinates.
While we were in While we were going through, your slip space travel seems to almost be just portals.
Pretty much.
This
Portal into the
didn't seem to be that.
slipstream, portal out of the slipstream.
Hyperspace and slip space they have their similarities and also their differences. They're both what we call astral manifestations. In other words, we are actually on the astral sea now, just a different form of the astral sea, bound to specifically force space. However, they're different in the exact nature of how their faster than light travel functions. I think the best way to explain hyperspace is that large gravitational bodies, planets, stars, have shadows in hyperspace. And if you fly into one of these shadows in hyperspace, it has rather
It's like flying into a
disastrous
wall.
it has rather disastrous consequences. So navigational computers chart routes around these various shadows.
R7 lets out a few beeps.
But what massive ships? It seems like that'd make for a very strange scene, won't you think?
What did Emiria ask?
It's like, but what about other large ships? These two keep talking about ships that are several kilometers long, and so I feel like that's a pretty big object that we could eventually
Out of
be
character in
thrown
Star
into.
Wars lore, nothing executor size or smaller has a hyperspace shadow. I believe the Supremacy might have had a hyperspace shadow, but that's
That
Disney
was
sequel
probably
trilogy,
a
and I don't
small
know
one.
anything about
I
that.
don't think it did. I think that what happened is the Radis hit it while it
Well,
was
yeah.
accelerating to hyperspace.
Well, yeah.
Anyways,
I wasn't talking about that scene. I was just talking about in general from its size. I think the
oh,
Death Stars might have had a hyperspace shadow.
things
Yeah, I
Not
have
sure
think
on that.
that one
yeah,
might have.
yeah, that
But
definitely. Things have to be pretty big to have a hyperspace shadow. Usually somewhere in the range of a small moon is where they start existing. Um, it's more
Mm-hmm.
based on the overall mass of the object than it is on the size. So a black hole has quite a large hyperspace shadow, even though the black hole itself
yeah,
is quite small.
Nilo's actually is like clearly doing a bit of math, and then just like and is because she's clearly running that through effectively all the
Mm-hmm.
formulas he would use for Mass Effect.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
the,
then
the Mass Effect phenomenon, and realizing, that is theoretically feasible.
out of character, something I actually learned recently when reading or listening to the Rogue Squadron book is that um the ship's mass and speed um affect how close or far it has to navigate around certain objects. So smaller
Oh,
ships that can go much faster can skim uh distance off of certain routes if they're able to go fast enough and just
oh,
outrun the gravitational shadow. So if
interesting.
you're in something like the Falcon that has a very high speed hyperdrive, you can cut a corner near a black hole or a star a lot
Yeah,
tighter than you could in, say, a Venator Star Destroyer.
yeah, that's
Fair
interesting.
enough.
Celia doesn't mention that part. That's pretty
Yeah, yeah.
advanced stuff.
That's a little advanced for her.
Yeah,
Well,
that was something you would have to
it's not
be
too
a
That's
advanced.
pay
navigation.
grade.
You would have to
It's
be
not
native to the
necessarily
sphere to know that.
it's not necessarily too advanced for her. It's just not really relevant to the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's more like something you would have to be native to the sphere to know,
yeah.
probably.
Anyways,
To be familiar with how hyperdrives work.
yeah, the yeah, so just how long has this? I suppose I should say iteration of the crew has been gallivanting around the stars.
Celia cocks her head to the side, clearly thinking. It's hard to say. The Astral Sea has strange effects on time. The captain and Ticker manage to refurbish the Duchess and take to the Astral Sea. I think it was something like 10 or 15 years ago.
Huh.
Interesting. 10 to 15 years ago, there was
This is
oh yes, in Ellie in a drop
I,
pod over what colony was that? Well,
I
something
think they
or other.
also mentioned there's a bit of a time desynchronization, so between spheres. Something about some spheres not traveling at the same pace as others.
Something like that. Generally speaking, if you leave a sphere in a spelljammer or through spelljamming means, some creatures like dragons are capable of natural spelljamming, then you can then your sense of time will stay tethered to the linear time stream, even though some spheres do travel through it at different speeds. The shifting that you four did resulted in you becoming desynchronized from the time stream, as well as the strange desynchronization sickness that also happens with your spheres. And that is why you saw the results of seemingly weeks or months having passed in your home spheres when you returned.
Mm-hmm.
Nilo, still attempting to grapple with the fact that so much has changed at home that she doesn't even recognize it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, this madness has been a nice distraction from it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of other relevant questions.
You can also ask questions
Relevant.
just about different crew members that you have questions about, or
Yeah.
anything.
So tell me, why does the captain keep that drug addict snake around?
Celia laughs. Yeah, Mortimer owes the captain a lot of money. He's he's almost an indentured servant because of it. The captain basically holds that money over him, and that keeps him from leaving. Uh,
You almost make it sound like a mob hustle.
some of us are trying to get Mortimer off his habit. I think Voltai in particular has been trying that for a while, but not with any major success yet.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up the manifest.
So, what's the deal with the? You seem to have a vampire aboard. Any particular reason for that?
Clara has been aboard since really since the iteration of the crew, like you mentioned. She gestures to whoever asked that question. I forget who.
Nilo.
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 She gestures to Nilo. She was found by the captain and Ticker in a place called Jazeera, and they took her in. She was orphaned. Uh, Supposedly her sister also lived there as a sort of uh, as a sort of crime boss in the local area, and
That's a
the
great saying.
and the ca- and the captain and Ticker had some dealings with her as well. From the way I understand it, Clara was temporarily captured by the
It took
Sinclair.
so long for Madame Harcone to actually meet Skirvo.
Yeah, it did.
It took so long. I was just fascinated by that, to be honest.
Clara, she was captured by uh, a corporation called the Sinclair Corporation. We haven't encountered them yet, but Lars used to work for them. They're a very shady corporation that does some dealings on the Astral Sea. And,
The
well,
captain does not seem like the kind of person who would take that sitting down.
not, he didn't. The captain and Ticker worked together to prepare the ship for battle after that, and immediately rode to her rescue. And
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the freaking president of the company died in that crossfire.
supposedly the CEO of the Sinclair Corporation actually died in that battle, but it's it hasn't done anything to slow them down.
There.
Typical.
Well, a massive corporation would have to have some sort of fail-safes in case something like that were to occur. Although you keep mentioning this Jazeera, but you also weren't there. Seems like it seems like a lot was happening there.
These were stories that Skirvo and Ticker were telling me. They the Jazeera is a plane I've never been to. It's
Good, she better keep it that way.
that's not gonna happen though.
Oh no, I know, but I'm like, oh, I know. I'm just like, with everything we fought so hard to make sure happened on that sphere, she better keep it that way.
Supposedly, the overdeity of darkness, Dendar, is imprisoned there.
I see.
That
Hmm.
is
And this is one of
Concerning.
no.
these, and they're in the same line as Quilrith?
You don't actually know that Quilrith is a god.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
No, but
Right. We never asked
they
about it.
mention. You're right, but it's like, trying to think. My mind was working in a weird way, but perhaps I was metagaming there. Never mind.
Has Corneria been mentioned?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh wait, yeah, she has been mentioned. You're right. She has been mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Skirvo was
Yeah, the party
asking.
happened to be in the room when
Yep.
Skirvo dug up that
A-
little nugget.
Yep.
As an over deity or a name.
Uh,
Someone pretty important who's now dead at the very
I'm
least.
pretty sure she was referred to as the overdeity of time by Skirvo as well.
Yeah.
Similar to
Uh,
that
yeah.
Gronerium.
Yeah.
Yes, the overdeities aren't in the same classification as most deities. It's hard to explain, but They seem to draw their power directly from the astral sea.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
So like a planeswalker?
They travel the planes a lot, and and unlike a lot of deities, they remain exactly as powerful in every plane they travel to.
Hmm. Interesting.
I do have a different question about one of the other crew. The other elf, I believe his name is Theron. What's his problem with short people? Overheard him muttering something about
Is he
dwarves or something.
racist?
Yes. I
Dwarves are
honestly,
not a race. They're just a group of shorter than average people. Kind of derogatory.
Nilo has
dwarves
no
are
comment.
a separate race in some spheres.
Oh,
Huh.
so they just gave a derogatory term for an entire race.
Not
Oh,
a.
okay, that's beautiful.
I mean, that is kind of weird, out of character. At any rate, Theron. I honestly don't know why the captain puts up with him, but
He's useful.
I was gonna say, well, if he puts up with
Like-
a
like
drug addict that
Oh.
doesn't do anything.
Like out of game, he's useful.
yeah.
He can shoot someone.
But
you can do it
Celia just shrugs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I feel
Is
like
there anything we should know about any of the other crew members?
I would like to ask more questions about the captain, but I feel like every layer we peel back only reveals more questions.
One moment, chewing.
And he'd very much like to keep it that way.
The more questions you ask, the more
Remind me,
questions get answered. The more
barmy
questions get answered,
bastard.
the more questions are created.
Yeah,
It's a spiral.
he is an endless mystery, the barmy bastard. Uh,
Is there
Oh.
anyone in particular you would like to know about, or should I just start giving you details on some of the more major crew members?
Let me see. This is why I pulled him up. Oh yeah. What about that green-haired woman? I can't remember her name.
Mary, she's from a sphere that was destroyed, so she has a lot of traumatic memories related to that. And the captain met her in Jazeera as well. Nothing gets by Mary. She has an incredible investigative ability and a sharp wit. She handles a lot of the paperwork for Skirvo, and also does a lot of research when we need to research a topic that we don't know much about, like right now.
So that's why Skirvo seems to be doing the paperwork these days. Because it was mentioned last session that Skirvo himself is doing a lot of the paperwork at the moment.
Yeah.
Mhm. Because the
Mary is
all-seeing eye of
busy.
Sauron is researching.
Mary is busy.
Yep.
There's a lot going on. and it honestly is starting to sound like there's going to be a certain point where Skirvo's going to have to be like, terribly sorry to do this, but when you find the time, and just hands her another list.
I think Mary was an investigator in her home sphere. Worked for an organization out of character. Was it the FBI or the CIA?
It was the FBI.
She worked for an organization
Wait,
sort
was it
of
World of
the
Darkness?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
sort of the investigative department of a government in her world.
Uh-huh.
Huh. She seemed
Civilian or military?
Hunter or mage? I guess like system. Sorry, I don't know why. I finally know what these things are now.
I don't recall. It was so long ago.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to find the character sheet, but it was World of Darkness.
What did you ask,
All right.
Bradley? What did you ask, Brad?
Civilian or military? Investigation. Investigative organization.
Out of character, I think it's civilian.
FBI is civilian, yeah, because it's DOJ and not DOD.
Yeah, civilian.
Although internally she was totally the supernatural X-Files department, except we were not the X-Files. It was kind of a running gag.
Specifically,
Like it was easier to explain us as the X-Files, but we were not the X-Files.
specifically the department that she was a part of in her organization was tasked with investigating supernatural happenings, ghosts, fae, things like that.
Perhaps I should be talking to her more. If I can ever find the time. She seemed busy. Let's see.
How do you keep the vampire in check?
Actually, I want to point out we have 4 dwarves on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, shouldn't she require some steady source of blood, or is there something weird about that situation?
Out of character, by the way, you have seen Clara drinking from a wine bottle several times when you've been on the ship. But you don't necessarily
I thought I was
know,
always in a different room.
Yeah, no, you don't necessarily know that that's what she's drinking. You just have seen her drinking from a wine bottle. Clara keeps a bottle with her that Ticker made for her when she was young. It produces a nearly infinite amount of blood for her to satiate her vampirism.
Well, that justifies the laws of thermodynamics.
That was what was in the bottle.
Perhaps it sucks
I thought she
magic
just had
energy from nearby.
A very high tolerance for alcohol.
To what Nilo says, Celia just smirks at her and says,
"Yeah,
magic."
There's just a complete spit in the face for that.
And here I thought she was just had a very hardy constitution, could hold her liquor or something.
I mean, that's probably true as well.
That's true as well. Vampires aren't affected at all by alcohol.
Out of game. That sounds very tragic if one happened to have been an alcoholic beforehand.
Now, where have we seen that before?
Definitely couldn't have been one of mine.
That's an odd thing to say.
I think I vaguely remember a drunk paladin, but vampirism?
Nah.
Where would that have ever come in?
I'm sure if it's important, it'll come up later.
Wait, is that how we get Vlad to turn back to being a good guy? Offer a cure to give him so he can get drunk again? Be like, listen, boy.
Somehow find a way to get a vampire drunk off his ass.
And we can get you drunk again?
That'd be dumb. And we save the day through alcoholism. Wait.
Now there's just drunk Dracula running around murdering everything.
Kind of like
what have we done?
The Mario Brothers movie had kind of like how the Mario Brothers movie's message was was when in doubt, use performance-enhancing drugs. Wait.
Wait a second.
What do they mean by this?
Anyways, anyways,
Speaking of undead, you seem to have another one that seems someone has reanimated a skeleton. They did a very fine job. All of
Wait,
his
If
motions seem to
only
be correct.
Winston were here, then there'd be all kinds of skeletons running about.
we have enough.
We have one.
It's enough.
It's enough.
Oddly enough, his name is actually Billy Bones. That was his name before he became a skeleton, even. He kind of just appeared in the rigging one day, but he's helpful, and he's polite, so we decided to keep him on.
I don't think any of us have run into Pearl.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Yep.
And no one runs into Norm because he's Norm.
No
can't-
one
I think
knows
the
he's
only one
there.
who has
You
is
know what?
Yes.
Actually,
Vin.
screw it. I'm gonna screw it. I'm
Vin
asking
has-
about Norm. I know we've heard someone call out for Norm before.
Yeah, but we don't know what he looks like or who he is or what his face is.
Yeah. Who's
Only
Norm?
Eden knows it.
Norm is outstandingly mediocre. He is.
Uh-huh.
I honestly might think he has some sort of enchantment on him that causes him to be forgotten. Because
Like it's like,
unless-
could you point him out to us in a crowd? Celia immediately goes pale.
because
We need
unless
to like draw like hash marks on like our skin just every time we see him. Be like, oh, we saw him again. That's
The
a
only
cross.
reason we know
Unless-
he's here
What
is
is he, the
because he's
silence
on
now?
the payroll.
No. See, what we need
It's
to
like
do
a game.
is we
How
need to
many
get
like marks can you get on your arm
you,
by the
you-
end of the day?
we
you
need
want
to
to know?
find.
You want to know my
um,
you want to know my favorite part about the token I used for him?
Yeah.
That's from during the weaponry song.
Oh,
No, you know what we need to do for Norm? We need to find Marie. We need to borrow Jerry and give Jerry, and they can be invisible together.
Dude, they will be unstoppable. They will be so fucking powerful.
the saviors
could,
of
like-
humanity.
They could be like the next villain, man. Like they're going to be so powerful.
BBEG was
We
Norm all
never find
along.
them.
Wait, literally, it's just the two of them just standing there, and it'll just be a TPK.
It'd be like a DC 300 wisdom save or something.
Dude, for real.
We're like, ah, where'd you come from?
When
Anyways,
we take Marie's support animal, she will come for you.
Ugh.
Though personally, I'm more afraid of her great 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 grand uncle's murderer.
Yeah.
Consumer?
Both?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Someone had a time, and that time's gonna be our problem.
It's gonna be fine. It's
It'll be
fine.
fine, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Let's
We're
see.
just fighting Lord Dracula.
Yeah,
You know.
Fine. It's just another Tuesday.
Another Tuesday aboard the Crimson Duchess.
Wait a minute.
It's a good thing it's Wednesday then. We got a whole week.
Wait a minute. I just remembered. All of us might have heard something. That's. So wait, are you in a relationship with Mortimer?
where would you have gotten that idea?
You might not remember, but it was earlier when she accidentally said his what was it? His one of his nicknames instead of somewhere somewhere they were talking about, and then Skirvo said, I believe that was Mr.
No.
Schlang's name with the ladies, as opposed to
No.
his and I didn't
Chorizo?
know you were
Oh,
that close.
yes. It was chorizo. You forgot the end of that encounter. You heard her stomach grumble, and then she said, "No, I think I'm just hungry," and then left to go get food.
Okay. That could have meant anything. Anyways, no. But anyways, it's like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. The captain seemed to think.
No, that snake, he can't get anybody even if he tried.
The captain seems to think a lot of things. He's not always correct.
That's true.
Ah, yeah, I've met some COs like that before.
I just felt like I had to get that one out of the way. That was too good to pass up. That was too good to pass up. And now, unfortunately, Celia has those rumors wandering around the ship.
Oh, Eden is spreading that like wildfire.
Oh,
Let me tell you
absolutely.
that.
It is. That is
She
unfortunate.
is
I'm
thriving.
sorry, Celia.
On the gossip.
Once Nilo mentions that to Eden,
Oh, yeah.
it's immediately just all around. Everyone knows
Yeah.
now.
Let's see.
What you're saying is Edip is the ship gossip queen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
If
what
we
she
ever
does
need-
for work.
So if we ever need any dirt on anybody, go to Eden.
Literally. I mean, she
I'm having
spends
trouble
all her time
figuring.
on the
I'm genuinely having
ship.
trouble figuring out other questions at the time. Some of the ship functions are nice to know, but it's hard to even begin where to ask with that. It's clear that it's got a bunch of advancements on it.
Mhm.
I mean, there's probably.
Why
Okay,
is it still? Why is it shaped like an old sailing vessel?
Spelljammers are shaped like any number of things. The Duchess used to be a sailing vessel, and there was no reason to change that when it became a spelljammer because the shape of the ship doesn't really matter in the Astral Sea. The ship is
So you're saying
propelled.
this?
The ship is propelled by magical means. It doesn't need to worry about things like aerodynamics.
So you're saying it stayed that way because the captain of the vessel is sentimental?
Yes.
Just
Uh-huh.
kind of nods, like, all right. That is an answer. And it somehow did, in fact, come winding around back to that freaking mimey old codger. The- uh, do you have any idea why Arnessa has what looks like two saws for legs?
Just a sec.
I don't remember Spencer ever
Honestly,
bringing
I
that up.
don't. She thinks for a second. I don't think I've ever asked her that.
Arnessa rarely talks to people, even.
Yeah.
That is.
She says that as well. Arnessa doesn't talk much to anyone but Alis.
Well, that would certainly explain my dealings with her. How often? That being said, how often do you have to deal with the barnacles?
Not very often. Jammer leeches can slow down a ship if they build up a lot. In all honesty, we didn't need to clean them off for quite a while yet, but it's not a very difficult it's not a very difficult thing once you once
They
you get
told
that,
me poke it with a stick, and then it attacked me.
Lars isn't a very good teacher.
It wasn't Lars.
Neither is Alis or Arnessa. I honestly forgot it was them. I thought it was Lars.
Yeah. She was stuck with those two, and they hucked her overboard and told her to poke it with a stick,
Poke it with a stick and don't.
and then laughed their asses off when it immediately turned around and
I
tried to
forgot.
bite me.
I forgot it was. I forgot it was Alis and Arnessa.
Don't worry.
It's been a while.
Don't worry. He's coming up.
Oh shoot! Wait, I guess I never did tell you like why Arnessa has sawfish legs.
Nope.
What is it? So Arnessa is a mermaid, but she wanted to walk on land one day, and so what she did is that she tore off her tail and kind of separated two separate parts, and then attached
Okay.
rudimentary legs to the end.
Okay.
The entire experience very painful.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Obviously.
Okay,
That
then.
explains a lot about that one, actually.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder her
Okay.
voice is so pretty. She's literally meant for luring sailors to their doom. And then she apparently one day decided, nah, screw. Apparently one day she read The Little Mermaid and then said, bet.
I could do that better. I
Yeah.
don't need magic for this.
While also apparently decided, why do I need to wait for the sailors to come to me? I could go get them. Which is honestly kind of a weird reversal of the Little Mermaid story. Instead of going out to find love, she's going out to find more murder.
Anyways,
Anyways, wait till we find out that backstory. Anyway, uh, what about Lars, anyway?
Lars used to work for the Sinclair Corporation. He was sort of an enforcer for them. He intimidated a lot of the smaller businesses that rivaled them into accepting
I feel like I'm a Mass Effect dialogue tree right now.
accepting
Cycle through all the options.
Yes.
accepting horrible deals with the corporation, trying to buy them out or other things. And eventually, after he met, I forget who. Oh yes, it was actually Voltai, I think. After he met Voltai, he started to realize just how genuinely messed up the Sinclair Corporation is and how horrible he was being. He still feels a lot of guilt for what he did. But he tries to,
I find that hard to believe. He threw us overboard to fight sharks.
Someone had to.
like I said, he is not a good teacher.
She ain't gonna let him live
seemed
that down.
effective.
We were hardly here a day, and he threw us out to go fight sharks.
I mean, would you have done any different?
They have those guns.
Which require ammunition, no?
Oh, right. I forget you still rely upon rely upon large cartridges.
Only for small arms. Ship weapons, I would not exactly describe a 16-ton ferro-tungsten slug. A cartridge. That's a small ship. I heard rumors some of the bigger dreadnoughts and stuff Use
Anyways, just to
hunt
further
cult
drive
slug.
home the Mass Effect comparison, what can you tell us about Voltai?
Voltai,
She was mentioned in the sentence.
yeah, Voltai joined the crew on Jazeera. She's sort of a shaman. She's a race called Ivathi, which are moth people, is the best way to put it. Voltai has a lot of what seem like naturalistic and homeopathic methods of healing, but her magic allows them to be more effective than they otherwise would be.
Huh. Let's see. Anyone else got anything?
Well, we named all the major characters.
So
I mean,
well,
there's the
besides
There is
you
Bruce.
at large, who
Yeah.
didn't join the crew on Jazeera?
One second.
Asking Hannah the questions, she actually has to go. Wait a minute.
No, I was chewing.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Billy Bones, of course. Me. Bruce. Lars. Shiria. R7. Demos. I think that's all of them that you've met.
We met. There was those. There were even some other people they mentioned as former crew, like those restaurant owners.
Lord of Ox and Sadar. They joined on Jazeera. They were actually responsible for hiring most of the crew on Jazeera that were hired on Jazeera because, well, there wasn't anyone else to do it. The way that Ticker told the story.
Yeah, no, freaking. Ticker's experience during that whole thing was probably. My favorite thing of that will always be the fact that it was going so well on Brad and my's end, and then freaking we turn around, go to Ticker, who's just working tirelessly on the ship, and then just seeing weirder and weirder and weirder people come on board. And it's just like, what the hell's
First person
happening?
hired doesn't even speak to Ticker. Just
Yeah.
kind of there.
One of them was even the freaking guy who not that long ago was trying to kill him. And then inevitably after a couple days, finally Skirvo comes to meet the crew, and what
Dark
in
Notion.
fine hells am I looking at? Oh, that was so damn funny.
It was. It was.
They didn't say no,
It's
did
like
they?
it's like one of those memes of you let's see here. Requirements is breathing. Check. Your legs are too bad to go on the rigging, and
We were
your
basically
arms are too noodly to man the cannons, and your fingers are too buttery to work in the kitchen. You'll be a messenger. Next.
That was literally the scene from Dead Man's Chest where they were trying to hire just anybody to give to Davy Jones.
Yep.
We were pretty much that. Except we gave out dumplings.
Mhm. And somehow that hired everyone.
We got so many people, and then there was one lady who was basically just instantly couldn't help herself. She was just like, it was, Sadar was like, would you like to come with me to, yes. All right, you didn't even hear what I had to say.
It's like, well, let me check my schedule. Yes.
Not
The
every
whole rolling for that situation is like Sidar rolls rolls a 2. It's like, oh,
not
the,
every
listen, the NPC just throws the die away. Yes.
not every crew member that was hired in Jazeera is still with us. There's the three you met, of course. Well, 4. 5 if you count Shahara. She joined the crew very late in Jazeera from what I understand. There's also there was also a pair of Asamar, there was a mouse folk, and
I
there
I
uh,
genuinely hope Celia at least got to see the goddamn Allosaurus.
there was
Uh,
there was someone who rode a dinosaur who left not long after I joined the crew. There
She did
was
see. She walked on board and saw a goddamn dinosaur on deck.
there was
Just standing there patiently.
there was this Shatterkai that seemed to show up whenever anyone said his name. I think he was a Shatterkai. That's both an in
Drow.
character and he was a drow. I feel like it would make more
Yep.
sense for him to be a Shatterkai.
No, he
Oh.
had to be a drow because he was supposed to be the edgy
The
man.
edgiest character alive.
I know, but Shatterkai are also really edgy. Like they don't have emotions. That's their like whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah, but you got to be real edgy to feel all the gruff and sadness of how
yes.
the life can never be the way you want it to be.
No.
Oh no, he was a drow. That's what he was.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. It had to be.
No, that's an in
Well,
character
yeah,
line
like
from
in
Celia.
character. The darkest of notions.
Oh,
She probably was specifically not told his name. Deliberately so.
Just
Like
refer
one
to
of those things
as
of,
him.
never speak his name 3 times and knock or something like that, otherwise he'll be summoned into
He'll
existence.
show up.
I will always love the interaction when Skirbo realized those bastards hired him.
Because
When
neither-
Skirbo just was meeting every crew member, and then he just walked up, stared blankly at Dark Notion, and then just like shot an angry glare to everyone else, and then just turned back to Notion neutral again, and just said, "Mr. Notion," and moved to the next person.
no one else knew what he was except Skirbo.
honestly,
Skirbo knew exactly who he was. He worked with him for a long time. Skirbo was the only one who knew about him for a long time.
anyway,
The only other person on the guard that knew him, because everyone else just turned out dead for some reason.
anyway,
Anyhow, I genuinely can't think of anything else.
Well, at least on the ship crew questions.
I mean, you can
Yeah,
ask
and I'm
about
having trouble.
other characters you've met
Mm.
that
And I
aren't
suppose
necessarily on the crew, but that you've met.
I suppose we better ask about the big one.
Yes, the big
What
one.
can you tell us about Quilrith?
Quilrith. Where do I even start? Well, I guess it's worth mentioning. Well, I guess it's worth asking what you already know about him.
He's some reptilian species with a bunch of abilities I don't quite understand at the moment.
He is
Quilrith.
at the very least a planeswalker.
Quilrith's current form is what we call Dragonborn. They're sort of a humanoid. They're sort of humanoid dragons in a way. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the short version of the story. In actuality, oh boy, Quilrith is
Try not to get
actually
smoked.
Quilrith is actually the overgod of balance.
Oh,
I see. Nilo's
way
slowly
through
realizing that this guy is pretty
a
important,
relief.
and Skirvo is talking to him like he was just some random asshole. Realizing that there is a certain level of
Familiarity.
yeah. It's like you're I I was getting the sense he was important. This sounds a lot more important. So like Dendar and Croneria.
There's a dozen or so over deities, I think. Quilrith is
Uh-huh.
one of the more active ones. He tends to show up when there's threats to the balance of power in the multiverse. The last time he
So
showed
that's
up
what
was when the last time he directly got involved was when Croneria, well, tried to take over the entirety of the multiverse.
which
Oh.
resulted in her death.
Her power was stripped through use of the ether gem, and then she was destroyed by Quilrith, yes.
So that's what the captain meant when he said his when he was referring to Quilrith's cohorts. So
Wait,
does that mean Primus is an overdeity as well?
Correct. Primus is the overdeity of order.
Uh-huh.
That
wait.
does yeah.
How did Skirvo meet Quilrith? If Quilrith is an overdeity.
Honestly, I'm not sure, but the two of them seem to have a long history together.
Longer than Jazeera?
Maybe. It's hard to say.
It is worth pointing out, thanks to Skirvo's memory problems, especially when it comes to dates, he is an unreliable narrator.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. So it's I'm starting to get the sense that we might be in over our heads.
Oh, you're just now feeling that. I've been feeling that way for 30 years.
You're
Deities
supposed to
always
just
need help.
you went from trying to fight a war. This sounds like we might be worrying about the fabric of reality itself.
Uh-huh.
That sounds
We might be.
On to more pleasant thoughts. What was wrong with that dragon friend of Skirbo's? He had 5 heads, and 4 of them didn't match his body.
Cerberus is
what ails you.
Cerberus is what is called a draconic chimera. He is
I'll
sort
be
of
back.
a he is sort of a mixture of multiple different draconic species, which is why his children all each had the traits of one of his heads.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did just make that up on the spot.
I mean, it actually makes sense.
Right. We asked about crew. We asked about
Perhaps we better turn
random
our
characters.
attentions closer to the matter at hand.
What did you say, Brad?
Basically he was just thinking out loud. Perhaps we should turn our attentions closer to the matter at hand. What do we know about this Varut we're supposedly looking for?
According to the report that the captain was able to find of him, he appears to be some form of rebel leader against the empire that rules this sphere, or at least most of this sphere. It's not a good empire. It's totalitarian, authoritarian, genuinely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And the rebellion, well, they've been trying to topple that empire for a while. It sounds like the emperor actually died recently. So hopefully the rebels gained some
I have
ground with
returned.
that.
I have returned.
Mm-hmm.
You left?
Yes,
Oh.
very briefly.
Based on some of the research based on some of the things I've learned about the sphere previously, on previous excursions to it, Varut appears to be from the planet of Mandalore, which is a planet dominated by warrior culture in the sphere. And well, it's not exactly hard to understand why he would be fighting against the Empire, given that they nearly wiped out his entire people and
Uh-huh.
destroyed his homeworld. Not completely, not rendered it an asteroid field like Alderaan, but
Wait,
rendered it lifeless.
they glassed the planet?
Here they call it a base Delta Zero, but essentially yes.
Yeah, those are very, very unpleasant. You see him shudder briefly. Ugh, been through too many of those. Plasma bombardment would not recommend.
Sure.
So when we find him, he's likely to be
Hostile.
dangerous. Not necessarily openly hostile towards us, but
I'm just waiting for us to discover that his suit is basically a Swiss Army knife. Because that's how Mandalorian suits always end up. Even if they start out really simple, they eventually turn into a thing where you're like, what surface isn't a weapon?
And then he's like, that's when they're like, the inside of the bottom of my helmet where my chin is. Actually, no, wait, I forgot. That's where I keep my spare nail file. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm just picturing. I'm picturing one of these days. There's gonna be a freaking Mandalorian it's gonna be like, I think the only thing that's not a weapon is his helmet, and then he's just gonna take off his helmet and throw it like he's freaking Odd Job.
Oh, I was thinking just head bash someone like a Krogan.
No. He throws his helmet and it somehow decapitates someone.
It doesn't have any sharp edges. How does that happen?
Mandalorian! That doesn't answer anything!
He's likely to be dangerous, but not necessarily openly hostile. We're not Imperials after all.
After everything I've learned about the Imperials, come to think
They
of it,
seem
what are their... I mean, with everything, at least they have to have small fighters. At least those should at least be able to back up some of these design flaws. as horrifically egregious as they are.
What's the power source on that laser? I'm certain my Sanghelia friends would be very interested to know.
She's gonna. Well, we're gonna do the fighter part first. We'll come back to
Mhm.
that other one. So Celia taps a few buttons on the little like hollow table in front of you, and a little hologram of a TIE fighter appears. These are their standard fighters.
That is tiny. That's like it's like
It
one of the
might be
space
small.
banshees.
It
Small.
might be small, efficient, and she's actually gonna flip through the schematics. Where are the shields?
Wait, you mean that thing doesn't have shields? Well, space banshees don't have shields, and we didn't have shields for the longest time. Shields are
There
complicated.
aren't even. There don't appear to be. There don't appear to be any life support systems.
Looks like a big ape.
I proceed to. I immediately just start tapping your Omni tool in like medical diagnostic. How do you pull that thing up again?
There is no. She's flipping through it. There's virtually no armor.
I'm definitely
she
checking you out to
actually-
make sure you don't have a head injury. I'm like, are you
She's-
sure that's
she's
what
act-
it's saying?
And then she's going to just be like, this doesn't even. The flight controls are so absurdly fast, it's barely enough for anyone to control it.
I love how you're saying the TIE fighter is fast. You do realize it's a supposedly space orbit capable fighter that can't breach Mach 2, right?
No, I do know that, but like
But in
I'm just going off of lore wise.
In comparison to other starfighters, it is quite fast.
Yeah. Anyways, the point is it's just
Which
like,
just means all Star Wars fighters are horrendously slow.
Well, yes, but
mhm.
the TIE was designed to be extremely cheap, and that has
I can
cost
see
the
that.
Empire severely because
They want to
well,
kill their men.
well, when your enemy
They want
is
to kill their own men. That's the only. I look at Brad. That's the only explanation. They want to kill their own troops.
I'm looking at the specs of the TIE fighter on your screen you pulled up. And
I'm
I'm like,
assuming they were translated to. By the way, this whole time I was going under the assumption that they had a system to translate the Orabesh to common,
mhm.
because
I think
not
I've
everyone
seen
can understand
Scorpion
Orabesh.
tanks more expensive than that. No. Warthogs. You remember the Warthog, the truck with the minigun on it.
Yes, the one I crashed.
Well,
And then I
everyone
crashed.
crashes those. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a badge of. I'm pretty sure it's like a rite of passage and basic for all the Marines to crash one of them things. Horrendous driving.
I kind of do sort of like a half salute with that. But they want to kill their own men. That's the only explanation for any of these design flaws. They do not want to have soldiers.
They must have a necromancer behind the scenes.
Pull up
Have
the
they done
speed.
anything with zombies?
Pull up the speed. At least this thing's got energy to it, right?
we're gonna go with like the speed they actually appear to have, and not what the books say. By the way, so actually, yes, the TIE fighter is quite fast.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah, it's absurdly fast.
It's an actual orbit capable velocity.
Mm-hmm. She taps a few buttons. Unfortunately, that's not even the worst one, and she pulls up a picture of a TIE bomber. These are even slower than the original fighters, are still unshielded, and that entire second pod is filled with munitions.
Do they at least have
bombing unit
armor?
with no shield.
Do they at least have decent armor?
I'm not familiar with this Durasteel. What is this composite material?
A steel alloy, it's what most starships are made out of.
Steel! You all are using. I look at Nilo. They're primitive.
They want.
We're dealing with cavemen.
She's fully
steel.
They're still working with iron. No wonder they're doing so trash. They're still working with iron.
There's a lot of fantastic uses of iron, but
Yes,
this
but
is
not for
inexcusable.
space traffic. I gesture up and down to my armor. This is more titanium than it is iron.
They want to kill their own men.
Calm
She's
down, Cudgel.
genuinely convinced that they want to kill their own people, because that a lot of what they're doing is just inexcusable from a militaristic and engineering standpoint.
The reason for it is the Empire wants to be seen as a overwhelming force, and the way they do that is through uniformity. And when you want uniformity, you need a lot of something, and that means it needs to be cheap.
But this level of cheap is absurd. I'm pretty sure I could rip that starfighter apart with my own two hands. I would just
It
need to
is.
equip my jump pack, and I could go out. Forget bringing a longsword, fighter, big minigun on that thing, or a saber or something. No, I'm pretty sure I could just punch that thing and it would explode.
I'm not even sure about that. I'm pretty sure. If
Hidden
your
foil
armor specs
soda
are to be
can.
believed, I'm pretty sure you could just let it run into you and it would do more damage to itself than you.
Fair.
You would think
Get
the
in
Empire would
this.
at least have decent security on their ships. I once met a pair. I once met someone said he and a friend stole one of these things and only had to rip out 2 wires to keep the Empire from tracking it.
I proceed to
And
face
they were
palm.
and they were able to just walk in there, which I want to point out some crew members of the Duchess have definitely done. Because of how because of how sneaking into an Imperial base works, there's no way they couldn't have at least had, like, I don't know, Norm do it. Or even someone less impressive as Norm.
Then you just put Norm in an Imperial officer's uniform and have him walk with his chin up in the air, and no one would ever question him.
Well,
Yeah,
the
Give
they
way
him a
wouldn't even
clipboard.
bad. They
Everyone
just
thinks he's
assume
in
he was in charge.
well the way he told the story, it sounds like he managed to get into the TIE fighter from the ground while it was flying and hijacked it, basically.
Mhm.
Out of character, I'm basically just describing the events of the episode Fight or Flight.
Yeah, that's what I figured as much.
Yeah. I'm just
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just picturing Nilo genuinely trying not to lose it because of all the engineering sins she's seeing.
I just tap Nilo's shoulder, and I just simply tell her, "Pull up Executor Crash. Crusader just sent me this, and it's
Pretty
you're gonna
funny.
have an aneurysm."
Look at this.
You
First
see
of all,
a
19-kilometer Super Star Destroyer taken out by a snub fighter, only slightly bigger than I gestured to the TIE fighter.
did it just not have shields?
the shields
It seems
were
like
the shields were taken down beforehand, and
Did it not have a secondary bridge?
Do
unfortunately
you
not.
realize how many super carriers we could have killed if all we had to do was crash a fighter into the bridge?
Not even that, you would just need missiles.
Honestly,
Well, we got plenty of those.
it's a big problem that the Empire even keeps their bridges so exposed.
I
I'll
was
pull up like
going to
Aeron class
mention
frigate.
that.
I mean, we have semi-exposed bridges, but the actual CIC is in the bowels of the ship.
Same. Same. Mostly relegated to a front viewport for the pilot. And that's although with Quarian ships that varies from ship to ship.
There's
I
Not
mean,
every
if we could have done that. So you know what we had to do to kill the ship? Granted, it was 10 kilometers bigger than that one, but you know what we had to do at Reach? Well, I wasn't involved in this, but what the Noble team did, they jerry-rigged a slip space drive into a bomb somehow smuggled it on board the middle of the supercarrier and activated it and just teleported the middle of the ship to who knows where. Very effective.
That would
Unfortunately,
do it.
Celia
52
just
died.
gets like an aha moment in her eyes. So that's how a chunk of some ship got into Nui space.
Wait, you mean? Wait, was it the middle section?
It looked like it. We were dumbfounded.
Dark purple hull color.
I'm sorry, it's just the implication that friggin' George is probably in Nui space wondering what the hell is going on.
There was a very confused soldier on it who looked kind of like you.
About
He's
my
he was
height, 100
Oh
pounds
my
heavier,
god, George is fine.
Russian accent, carried a minigun.
she just nods.
That
Yeah,
son of a
that was
bitch
that's
survived.
George. I'll be darned. He's alive. You see me marking off on my hands? That means there's 10 of us left instead of 9.
Congratulations. Not having
What do you know? How about that? 117's probably still alive. Bugger's way too lucky for him to have died. I swear that man's got more luck than the rest of us combined.
honestly, with how lucky Chief is, I wouldn't be surprised if other Marines think he's just immortal. Like, that guy's way too lucky.
So the slip space bomb teleported the middle of Long Night of Solace to a different sphere of existence.
Sounds like we need to do a bit more research onto your slip space drives.
Slip
They
space,
might
be honest.
They
slip
might be
space-
causing a bit more problems than you think.
Slip space itself is fine. It just seems that whatever you did to that thing to create the bomb seemed to tap into a little bit of astral magic.
Well, funny story. So, after Reach fell, when Chief had to leave like half of us behind to go to Alpha Halo, he managed to capture another one of their ships, and their slip space drives were so fast. So he left September 1st, and it took him about a month to get to Alpha Halo. He got back to Reach September 19th, same year. The Covenant slip space drive was fast enough. He traveled back in time 2 weeks, maybe a month or more. I don't know how long he was on the Halo.
I look at Celia. Is there a
How?
precedence for this?
In a few places.
It was confusing.
Most Chronergy magic is astral in nature. I can even use a little bit of it myself.
Just makes an apple rot to dust in front of us. I never said I was good at it.
Oh, it's like that thing from Doctor Strange when he's first learning how to use it.
Yeah, but doesn't even get as far as making it turn back to a full apple. Just causes it to disintegrate and then just goes. I never said I was good at it.
That giant space station, what did they use to be able to turn a planet into an asteroid field for an energy source?
Oh,
There are these things called kyber crystals found in this sphere. They're crystals that can hold and transmit enormous amounts of energy. And when enough energy is put into them, it causes them to destabilize and create a blast of energy powerful enough that when focused, it can rip an entire planet apart.
Uh-huh. How big of a crystal are we talking? 500 meters, 2 tons, 100 tons.
Out of character, I actually don't know.
They were big.
well, you would know it's more than just a little tiny hand-sized one that powers weapons and things.
Yeah.
They used
'Cause
They
a lot.
strip mined Ilum.
yeah.
They,
Anyways,
they mined Ilum so freaking much that it has a giant trench around its equator, and the
I've
core.
seen so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
information.
she actually mentions that they
Mhm.
strip mined the. So kyber crystals are only found on a few planets, one of them being Ilum. The Empire strip mined Ilum so much that it has a miles deep trench around its equator and basically doesn't have a core anymore.
Uh-huh. I take it these crystals are not very big.
Most of them are. Most of them are marble sized, but there are some larger ones. All the way, they
Mm.
can get quite large.
I wonder if I can use one of them for the hard light sheet. Maybe the saber? Oh, it probably wouldn't integrate well.
Let's see.
You see him sort of enter into a thinking phase
Hmm.
as he just mutters vaguely under his breath.
What's the
Oh.
ETA of what's our ETA to Yavin 4?
She looks over at a screen on the wall. Couple of hours, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot.
We must still.
Sorry. Okay. Out of game. I just realized Ilum became Starkiller base.
Yeah, that
Yep.
actually was fully canonized recently.
I was wondering because I was like, haven't they been like back and forth on that? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, they've
they
been hum-hawing back and forth on it, and a
didn't
lot of
they?
people are
Because
like,
like
it
they kept,
couldn't be Ilum because Starkiller Base had trees and Ilum did not have trees, and other people are like, it's totally Ilum because of the trench and all the kyber required for Starkiller Base, and it's an ice world in the unknown regions.
Hmm.
yeah, like because I remember them flip flopping on that more than one would flip flop a pancake.
Hmm.
It's just it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they finally did fully canonize that, and I'm not crazy about it, but like, whatever. It's fine.
Yep.
Well, okay, they used a planet that was otherwise not being used in the new canon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Ilum was already in the new canon, it just wasn't in it that
I mean,
much.
either
Right,
way, I mean, either way, Ilum was screwed over because of having to build both Death Stars in the first place. So,
Hmm.
Yep.
I mean, you went to Ilum. You remember that it was not an ice ball when you were there.
Yep.
yep. Anyways, but our character
Yes,
didn't go there.
back to like the matter at hand.
Yeah.
Would you say that is enough time to do one more check?
Yes.
All right then. Okay, so and we classified that it was
Surgery
a
kit.
surgery kit. I should have had this open. Why am I doing this? Okay, tools,
Which if,
surgery kit.
which we're saying you do have
Plus 10.
proficiency with, even if you don't, because I keep meaning to change the
Plus 10.
the reanimator so it uses that instead of leather workers tools.
Right. Plus 10. 22.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think that's the last. Okay, hold on.
What were you
Where's my
working on?
spreadsheet? Working on building a little homunculus.
Mm.
Yes, this is now success 3.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
So just
And
somewhere in the corner, it's like I don't know when the other what's it when Ivo is probably playing chess against against Vagar. Is just you hear the screams of unholy life being birthed as a strange new little guy just comes out of nowhere.
So you got a new Ivo?
Yep, I think we will call him.
What's this
Name
one
will
made
be
out
a
of?
work in process. Huh? Fast forwarding back. Well, not fast forward. I guess it would be. So remember the bodies that I acquired in Halo space?
Okay.
It is made out of a miner.
Okay.
ER, not OR.
I was about to say, like,
Like, bro. But no, that's what I wanted to know because I know the first one is made out of fish.
Yep. This one, she had practical human parts to actually stitch it together, shrink it a little so that any tissue damage that had been done would be minimized.
Yeah. So that's terrible. Anyways, since I think we're all out of things to ask, I'm just gonna go ahead and
Yeah, I'm gonna do
that's all
research
for
on
now.
Mandalorians, i.e., learn that Beskar exists.
Yeah, that's all for now. Because I feel like with a dialogue tree like this, I had to end it like a Commander Shepard conversation, but I can't exactly I should go in this situation.
take care.
We should go.
So what are y'all doing now?
I am doing a bit of.
Other than Bradley and Emiria, obviously.
Yeah. I am going to. Let me first double check my inventory. Okay. Da-ba. I don't have a lot to do at the moment. I haven't done a lot of good resource gathering at the moment. So I'll join Brad in trying to do some research on some of this stuff so I can better understand the kind of guy we're trying to pick up.
Okay. Yeah, you start to learn. Yeah, you just learn stuff about Mandalorian culture and about
Yeah.
maybe about
Now
some of
here's
the
a
specific
metal.
maybe about some of the specific crimes that Varut is supposedly guilty of.
Yeah.
But also like treason against the Galactic Empire is not really like a bad thing.
Especially by our standpoint. I mean why wouldn't you commit treason against these guys? They clearly want to kill you if you work for them. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. Meanwhile, Varut's somewhere else, wishing he had Kalani with him. Oh, Kalani! She picked up Lord Vader and threw him like a stuffed toy. Oh, I'm sure he misses that.
Oh yeah. Oh, to be picked up and thrown by a strong woman.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Imagine I got distracted. What were we talking about? uh. So, what's Vagar doing?
He's gonna still be playing chess with the homunculus.
Playing Shark with Ivo. Ivo,
He doesn't understand any
Ivo,
of like
Ivo is winning, by the way.
I would
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, and
I'm
yeah,
saying
and it
that
would be
mostly
much
just
the
for
same.
fun.
I was gonna say that too, just like, oh yeah, Ivo is definitely winning.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
Vagar is
love how your
slowly
character
getting
has.
like more frustrated.
I love how Vagar has like two modes. He's like adorable and also the brutiest bastard. Like if you walked into a room with Aragorn and Geralt, they'd all have to share the same dark corner seat, uh, brooding in a way while not at all acknowledging the other. Just
Mhm.
that or have to agree to brood in shifts. It's 3 o'clock. My seat now, pal.
Mhm.
I'd scoot over.
After spending some time researching Beskar and Kyber crystals and Varut and all that, since I'm proficient with dragon chess, how similar is the Jarek to chess?
I don't
Like,
know.
I guess
I don't
I
know
don't know the
honestly.
rules of that game, and I'm not sure anybody knows.
I
okay.
don't know the rules, and I don't.
Let me double check
And even if they
if it
exist, I
even
don't
has
feel like
official
trying to
rules.
figure them out right now.
They're understandable because it looks like Star Wars chess. I just
I mean that
look at
is
it
what it
briefly
is,
after
but like,
trying to see. Yeah, after trying to see how it works, I just immediately be like, you know what? My brain's too tired for this. Meh. I leave Vagar to his losing streak.
okay.
Yeah.
After a
But
while,
right before I leave, I suggest to him moving his Rancor, even though I don't call it Rancor, I call it that 2 squares to the left.
okay,
I do so.
you do slightly
Does it
better that
change?
you do slightly better that game, but you still lose.
Yeah. I'm getting somewhere.
After a couple hours pass, um,
Mhm.
you hear Celia call for everyone strap in. We're about to drop out of hyperspace.
Strap
Lovely.
into the co-pilot seat
hmm
because I'm apparently the one learning this stuff.
Well, you have more experience flying ships like this than I do. Most of the ships I've
Yep.
flown are gunships or fighters. And this is
Yep.
neither.
Yeah, Celia presses some buttons and slowly pulls a lever back, and the you once again see the star streaks, and then they go back to stars just in the distance.
Real space.
Mhm.
Yeah, and in front of you see a large orange gas giant and lots of moons around it.
Hmm. Reminds me of Reach. Though this gas giant is red instead of green.
And
Where's All right, which one's the moon we're supposed to go to?
she looks around for a second and points at one of them. Yeah, it's that one. And yeah, you fly over.
I'm gonna work on
Nothing
I'm gonna
for
work on flying us over.
Go ahead and make a check.
Yes.
I'll
Not
be
Watch me
on the
crash us into the stupid
weapon
gas giant.
systems, and I'll be on on the sensor
I rolled an actual die.
um
Let me go ahead
station.
and actually type that nonsense out.
Yes, we will go over to your house to see your die roll.
Yeah.
Can I give help about being familiar with spaceships and being on the sensor station to be able to point out the debris field and how to navigate through it, because there would definitely be a debris field from the old Death Star.
I don't need it.
You're
Oh,
yeah, you
you
don't
don't
need
need
it.
it. Never mind.
Nah,
Never
Um,
Nero
mind.
got this.
yeah, you start
I'm
flying
good.
towards the lushly appointed
Which is
uh
much better than what my die actually rolled. My actual
towards
die, I rolled like a 2.
you start flying towards one of the moons that appears to be a lush jungle world, And as you come closer to it, you see several ships nearby, including a large arrowhead-shaped ship about 600 meters long, and some other smaller ships. That's not
Are they
good.
facing us or facing the moon?
They're facing away from the moon, not directly at you.
Okay. What are the sensor readings telling me? Since I'm at that station.
What is it
Flat.
that you're trying to look for?
I'm just what is the sensor readout on what, if there's any like IFF pings or ship class or tonnage or anything like that.
I don't know how that works in Star Wars, to be honest. But anyways, upon seeing these ships, Celia just says, "That's not good."
Explain.
Those are Imperial ships.
Oh. Looks like one frigate sized and a whole bunch of smaller escorts.
Last we were here, the rebels were in control of this moon. Looks like the Empire must have driven them out. And they haven't taken it back yet.
Do you have a cloaking drive on this ship?
Unfortunately not. The Duchess does, but we don't, so we really... Oh no! And
I'm
as
gonna
soon as
turn
she
us
says that,
around.
the lead ship hails the ship you're on.
Uh-oh.
She she answers it and just says, and you immediately hear a gruff
Space.
voice come through.
Core
Unidentified
world
vessel.
accent.
You are trespassing in Imperial space. Please provide clearance codes at once. Celia presses a few buttons. Roger that. Sending over clearance codes now. There's a long pause during which Celia kind of turns to Nilo and whispers, "We've managed to get some clearance codes, but they're kind of old, so..." And then you hear the gruff voice come back on. "We've received your clearance codes. Stay where you are. We'll send you an escort." That's what I was worried about.
Now, why would they be sending us a prostitute at this hour?
Fighter escort, you nitwit. To make sure we don't do anything they don't like, otherwise they'll try and shoot us out of the sky.
Well, then they should specify that it's one of those instead of just escort.
Yes.
You would understand if you were from a civilized sphere.
Right.
Oh, really?
We
We're
should
pretty
go for the other.
civilized.
We should
I
leave.
You guys keep talking funny things.
Bradley,
Civilize.
Celia turns to Bradley. Bradley, down that hall. She points down one of the hallways. You'll find a ladder. Go up it. There's a gun turret. I need you on that.
Ah, finally, someone making sense. This ship got a belly gun as well?
Only a dorsal cannon.
Well, it's better than nothing. Say,
Hang on.
this a laser cannon, a rail gun? This is what I'm muttering as I'm walking down the hall.
Out of character, it's standard turreted laser cannon.
Yeah.
You
I-
start.
What's our move?
I climb up into the turret, and I shout down. Once I get a look at it, you're never gonna guess what it is. More of them paper-thin aircraft.
we should leave, Nilo. R7, plot us some hyperspace coordinates.
I'm gonna maneuver us. I'm gonna start maneuvers to get
Alright.
us to start trying to re-exit the atmosphere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
I
we're
strap
going
myself in and
to enter initiative here. We're just going
Ah.
to. We're just going. I'm just gonna put. Oh crap! I didn't prepare this. Oh no. I think I know a way I can do it. Actually, I think I know a way I can do it. Yes, yes. I think I can add.
Put it together with
No,
duct tape
no, I can't do that.
Dreams and duct tape and dreams.
and blood and sweat. And
Okay, you know what?
tears
Everyone just roll initiative like manually, and then I'll just write it. Not everyone roll initiative actually. Oh yes, yes. Everyone roll initiative manually, and then I will just. Okay, here's what we're gonna do.
roll.
Yeah, roll initiative manually, and I'll just write them down because I did not prepare this properly.
Somehow got here.
Okay.
All right.
Let me roll for Celia. Let's say that amount or so. I don't know. And let me roll for the TIE fighters that are chasing you. There are 2 TIE fighters chasing you.
Okay then. Okay, it was like you rolled a d20. Came
It's
up
at
with
18, and we were
It's
like, wait.
it's like, oh,
There are
a
18
bit
of
too
us.
many.
18 of them chasing.
No.
Run! Neil, I know you're used
Barrel
to flying a
roll!
battleship.
Vagar is a 20.
Neil, I know you're used to flying a battleship. You gotta steer this thing more tightly than that.
TIEs are at 18. Where's Bradley's initiative? There it is. It's 5.
5.
Amiria's at 7, and Bradley is at 5. Okay.
I nat 1'd.
Okay, Nilo, you're up first. Make me a space vehicles check, please.
22.
Yep, you are flying away from the TIE fighters.
Let's get this move.
Alright, up next is Celia. Celia is presently she's having the one conversation with R7 where R7's like, where R7's asking her where to go, and she's just anywhere that's not here.
Where do we go?
And then-
Anywhere but here!
And then he bleeps out something else. She's like, definitely not there.
Well, wait, I don't. He suggests the Maw cluster.
Alright, Vagar, would you like to do anything?
I don't know what there is for me to do except just sit there and just like hold on tight.
Okay.
Continue playing
Right,
chess.
that's it.
Just to play chess more aggressively.
Alright, the ties, they get closer this round, but they're not yet in effective range. So, Emuria, is there anything you would like to do?
Well, suggesting that I am an artificer, I assume what I would be doing is repairs, but there is currently nothing to repair at the moment, so I guess I'm on standby until then.
I'm sorry, but Emiria's version of repairs, I immediately pictured you doing that one Doctor Who episode where they had those clockwork robots repairing the ship with the crew members. Like, literally using pieces of the people who were on the ship as components to repair the ship. Like, an eyeball was used as a camera. It was disturbing.
Alright.
Now, Miri has
Yeah.
proficiency with wacky weapons. It's
Alright,
like you gotta figure out the thing that you're creating lightning with.
Alright,
You can't just use human body parts for that.
Alright, Bradley, the TIE fighters are within range. Make an attack roll with a plus, let's say a +5 to hit.
Okay.
Because it's a weapon you're not super familiar with. And it kind of slams around.
Okay. Yeah, with the exception of the slamming around, I would be familiar with,
Yeah.
swing
It's
mount,
just
swivel
like,
mounted.
it's just
weapons,
like
but-
the specific way the weapon works, and
Yeah. And close quarter shooter wouldn't help because they're not within close range. That's still 21.
yeah, you destroy one of the TIE fighters.
Pew pew pew. Yep, they're definitely like built like paper,
Alright, Nilo, another
like
check.
shooting banshees.
Another
This brings back memory.
another check, please.
Fly better.
Wait. Okay, it was destroyed. I do have a quick question. Does extra attack apply with this turret?
It does not.
Okay.
I do not fly better.
The second TIE fighter seems to start to overtake you a little. This round. Celia, being in the cockpit as well, immediately turns the ship towards the other TIE fighter and fires some forward-facing blasters to destroy it. And then she pushes a lever forward, and you feel the ship jump to hyperspace, and you also see a disturbance as the Duchess jumps away as well. Even though you can't actually see the Duchess directly right now because it's currently cloaked.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, so it's just like,
you're flying for a little bit, a couple minutes. So we're gonna. You have a couple minutes. Do you want to do anything?
I just hopped down out of the
I'm
turret.
I've got a grip on the controls.
Mm-hmm.
It's not likely they can follow
Ivo
us, right?
will. Oh,
TIE fighters don't have hyperdrives, and as
Of
far as
course
I
they
know,
don't.
the bigger ships can't track us through hyperspace.
Probably track trajectories, though. That's a simple enough math calculation. That's why we made the Cole protocol. Can't jump near. You have to make a random jump before you head towards inner colonies of Earth. Did buy us some time.
R7 plotted a course that should take us on a pretty circuitous route.
Handy. You were right, Neil. Then things is paper thin.
How many shots did it take on your end?
One pair. Pulled the trigger once and it fired a pair of bolts and blew the thing apart.
I swear, are they just throwing I swear.
I think I hit it dead center, so perhaps it hit the engine and it went critical and blew up, if we're being generous. A lucky shot.
It wouldn't have been much better for it if you'd hit the wing. It would have spun out and then
I think I
exploded.
saw the one you hit do that.
As you're talking, Bradley, where are you exactly currently?
I'm like in the cockpit, standing right between, like behind Nilo's chair, but there's also like the weapon, like the sensor chairs behind me.
Yeah. Make a strength saving throw.
A strength saving throw.
you're being thrown.
Actually, no, a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Please don't smash me again.
Dex save.
Not this kind of smash.
Strength save. I get the wisdom bonus too.
Yes, I haven't figured out exactly what that's going to look like for everyone yet. I completely forgot to ever do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think in some cases, in some of the movies, there are characters that are still standing up when they come in and out of hyperspace.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not coming out of hyperspace normally.
Oh my god.
All of a sudden,
Interdictor.
the ship suddenly lurches to a stop. Bradley, you fall on the floor. And you see Celia wrestling the controls as the ship spins wildly. And when she finally regains control, in front of you, you see another arrowhead-shaped ship. This one larger than the first.
It's got the 4 bulbs on it.
Jet black with red accents, with several bulbs bubbles dotting its surface.
I will mention on the underside, in addition to the 4 side bulbs, it has 2 of the reactor bulges.
That.
Because I know what this ship is.
Yes, that's an interdictor. We just got pulled out of our jump. Looks like the Duchess made it, at least.
Is that like a gravity shadow or something?
Interdictors create gravity shadows. You feel Celia's pressing buttons wildly, trying to get the ship back under control, and then you feel the ship lurch again.
What was that?
They have us in a tractor beam.
What now?
They're pulling us in, and there's nothing I can do about it.
What are all the bulbs on the ship for, though?
Gravity well projectors. They prevent the ship from being. They allow the ship to project a false gravity well, and then our hyperdrive effectively emergency pulled itself out of hyperspace to avoid crashing into what it thought was a celestial body, but well, it's not.
What about those two on the underside along the midline?
Those are the reactors. Power source.
Wait, that's awfully exposed.
You'd be
And more
surprised.
importantly,
You'd be surprised with how tough it is.
what's a ship this size need with two of them?
Yeah, normally these sorts of models only have one, and they
The
don't
black
have
color scheme.
and they
The
don't have
black
these
color scheme
colors.
seems. Nilo's going to actually pull up her Omni tool and kind of, do a record and then playback of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Echo check.
It's a little bit fuzzy, kind of like Thel was, but not as fuzzy as an echo is.
I lower my tool. We are looking at an anomaly.
This just keeps getting better and better.
I move my Hujix 2 spaces forward.
the ship gets pulled all the way into the
We gotta prep.
into one of the hangar bays of the interdictor. What would you like to do?
First of all, we gotta prep for the fact that we
Proceeds to aggressively check all weapons.
get ready for the fact that we're more than likely gonna have to disable a bunch of the actual ship systems, which aren't gonna be that horrible to get through because I've already done some research and found copious amounts of design flaws on Imperial equipment, but
Well, also this one isn't as
This one is different.
Yep.
This one is
Either way, we need to
very different.
Either way, we need to get ready to I'm gonna get ready for some stuff, and it's not like we can control the ship right now, and they're definitely gonna maglock it once they get in the hangar, so it's not like we can just try to pull a shenanigan and try to trench run this thing through the ship, as much fun as that would be. Just be like, now we're in the hangar bay, and just start blasting everything.
So yes,
But
I'll say you have one turn to prepare. So what would you like to do?
let's see.
If anything.
Actually, let me check something.
Also, do keep in mind, if you decide you want to just fight, you would be fighting the entire ship.
Yeah. And since I know exactly what's on the ship because
Well, out of character, you know what's on the ship. In character, you don't.
I'm out of here. I'm like, I don't think we're gonna win that.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here thinking.
I don't think we're gonna win that.
I just wanted to double check something real quick. Let's see.
I'm just curious, what kinds of troopers are awaiting us in the hangar?
You'll see.
Huh?
I'm actually I don't think I can.
Can what?
I was looking to see if I could have my my homunculus engage something, but I'm not seeing the ability to do an object interaction.
Oh, it can do that. It just that's not listed
Oh,
on
okay.
its stat block, but it can still do that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking they don't necessarily actually have a way to stop some of the firearms on the
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was thinking what I could do is I could set up my homunculus on the controls and have it just go ham on the forward lasers when they park us down, which
There is
would
the
definitely
alternative
cause some
idea.
havoc.
Alternative idea: Nilo, Legion, and Crusader hack in, because we all know it's Star Wars is horrendous cybersecurity. Hack in.
Right. I'm just asking you guys while we're
Oh, okay.
still here.
Okay. So what did you say? I missed all of that because my internet temporarily died.
Names that start with I.
Hans doesn't have an I name though.
No, for all the
Oh, okay.
homunculi, because all the homunculi are like one-eyed little monstrosities.
You know what? Why not?
All right. So,
Seems
in
fun.
that case, it's like, do I go with Ivan or Isaiah?
I mean, we already had Ivo.
You're right.
Okay. Okay, I am back. My internet temporarily died there for some reason.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Were you able to get the stream and recording back, or?
yeah, it just stopped for a second. So yeah, what did you say
Okay.
about? So I asked. I was asking, is there anything you want to do to prepare? And then I heard about the plan with the setting up all the controls, and then I said you would need to actually be on the ship and not on your ship to hack it.
Yep.
So
Uh,
I
Are
was
they
thinking.
setting up a boarding party or no?
you don't know yet.
Oh, I figured we were
I
in
was
the
thinking,
hangar, like
what if
Oh, you're
not
not
fully
yet.
landed
Oh
yet.
no, we're not.
I was thinking, what if we set up use my plan with the forward lasers more or less as a distraction, while we have an actual team of people, while we have a small team run over to hack into the ship systems and disable everything.
Okay.
Well, I think you're the only one capable of hacking in
Well,
this
I have an
department.
AI that's in a chip in my head. All I have to do is insert the chip in the computer.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find a jack for that.
That's true. That's true.
So
I don't think they have USB-C here.
Could Legion hack in?
This is a USB-A territory.
and I can easily create the I could easily flash forge something with my
Yeah.
Omni tool.
Ne-
I don't technically have
Nilo-
that spell right now,
Yeah,
but
Nilo could
totally do it.
Nilo could do it with with the Omni tool um you could create a Scum link with Omni tool, and also R7 could hack as well.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Hmm.
So
What if we
R7 would
sweet
probably do
talk the people on the other
R7
side?
would probably do terrible things to this ship,
We
I
could
want to point
try.
out. Terrible things to this ship.
What did you say, Spencer?
We could sweet talk the people on the other end.
I highly doubt that's
We could try. It doesn't hurt to try.
Yes,
I mean, you can.
I
So
will
yeah,
certainly
I'm not
try.
the DM.
I'm gonna say
What?
this. I'm gonna say
Show a
this
little
now.
leg.
I'm gonna say this now. You are out of planning time. You need to make a decision.
We took.
Okay. I'll go
Sweet
with
talk.
Nilo as cover for
Be
when she
ready.
goes
Be
up
ready to
by
pick up a
forging hack.
slab. Be ready to tear a slab off the wall or something and use it as a shield for us.
Or just, punch the console.
Yeah, whatever works. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna be prepped and ready, and I'll have Legion ready to do basically suppression fire.
Mm-hmm.
And again, should I do the thing where the ships just goes ham on the forward lasers?
On one
And again,
sense,
if we
it's a
got
distraction. On another sense, we don't want them angry at us, and just simply use the turbo lasers when we're trying to fly out, or the missile launchers.
well, I mean, they're gonna use those anyway, but
True. True.
Make your decision.
You know what? Why not? Especially if
Right.
there's a whole bunch of troops waiting for us.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Setting up my my little buddy here.
Okay. The ship gets pulled into the hangar bay. You see a large group of a variety of soldiers in black armor with red trim and a red pauldron. All are carrying weapons. Um, one of them appears to be the leader, who has noticeably different armor. Um, and there is also a very big turret that a pair of troopers are keeping trained on your ship.
So maybe my idea wasn't so bad after all.
Mm-hmm. So,
Uh,
out of character, are they all purge troopers,
they're
or
purge troopers, yes. Out of character, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you do, I'm just gonna tell you this. I was hoping that the gun would dissuade you. If you do the plan, the ship is gonna get blown up and you all die. So
Okay.
Oh.
yeah?
So seduction is the key.
All right, who's doing it? Because like,
all right, the ship is pulled in, and
Imperial.
Got stats for it.
and mag locked down.
Can you maglock a ship inside of a ship?
This ship can.
Fair enough.
It's actually not that hard.
There's a tense moment of silence for a second, and then
hold on, let me put my wife.
and then you hear the voice of the leader call out. Well, you don't know it's the leader, but you hear a voice call out. Are you going to stay in there, or do we have to come in and get you?
Oh, you could definitely come in here if you want.
Well, this just got
The choice
a lot.
is yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it? All right. So thinking. There is. So how do we? Do we have a microphone or some way to like? Well, so
We would we would respond by lowering the boarding ramp and walking out, or not.
Oh, okay. So there's like no message system where we can like talk to them.
Hmm.
Not
Probably not.
generally.
Okay, all right. Like no like radio system.
Yeah, no.
Or all right.
Star Wars tech
Alright.
be weird like that.
Well, I mean, there
sometimes.
is a radio system. It would just calm us to the bridge, not the hangar.
Yeah.
All right. So what's it? Okay. Well, either they're gonna shoot us down, or we come out. I don't think they have any concern about blowing the ship to Kingdom Come
No.
with that gun right there. So we might as well talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
For a second, Celia looks around. I think I know what's you hear her whisper something. I think I know what's going to happen. She turns to R7. If they follow standard protocols, play along.
All right.
That's what she says to R7 specifically.
Oh, not us.
Yeah.
See, are you
Oh,
gonna?
how bad.
Well,
how badly that little thing wants to just take over this ship and kill everyone on board.
But yeah, you are you find yourself so yeah, you find yourself in this situation. Are you gonna do the thing?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I
Right,
guess we'll
yeah.
do
Let's
the thing.
not blast the cannon. Oh, you mean lower the ramp and have Emiria go talk with
Yep.
them.
All right, attempt to speak to them.
Okay. Emiria, you walk out in front of this very intimidating looking person, who just stares at you from behind a helmet.
I'm gonna, while they're talking, I'm gonna see about running another record to see if I can find more specifically the one we're
Wait,
looking for.
Is the helmet like a standard purge trooper helmet, or is it a T visor?
It's somewhere in between.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Well,
Okay, so
uh,
it's not the CO.
Um,
It's not the guy we
well,
really don't want to be seeing right
I'm
now.
gonna be clear. This is the Inquisitor. To be clear.
Oh, this is.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I figured he would still have a Mandalorian Beskar T visor helmet.
No, it's like a hybrid of Mandalorian and Imperial stuff.
Oh, okay.
all right.
Oh, so which means there are also Mandalorian super commandos in the hangar as well.
I'm
Oh,
gonna be
cool.
clear. These purge troopers are just trained like Mandalorian super commandos.
That too. But I'm saying that it's probably a combination of the two.
Well, there aren't any like solely Mandalorian super commandos in the hangar currently. There's just purge
Yeah.
troopers.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are like his main forces.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Hello there,
that's one
sir.
of you. That's one of you. Where's the rest?
They seem to be on the ship. They're a bit intimidated at the moment, and I think they just brought me out here to hash things out, perhaps.
He looks at you for a second, and then he reaches behind his back and withdraws a lightsaber that looks sort of similar to the one Ticker used earlier.
Yeah.
He doesn't ignite it yet,
Oh.
though.
Yeah.
You are in no position to negotiate. I am being merciful. If you and your friends and your droids submit, you will not be harmed.
All right, all right. Okay, well, I've kind of put myself in this. I wonder how many he's looking for. Okay, so I guess this would just be me by myself, and so okay, so what would Emiria do in this situation? Would she bring out the funny little Ivo, and I guess we're gonna call the other one Isaiah at the moment, and say that those are the passengers aboard the ship, and then if he's not convinced, tell him that he probably doesn't want to see the other ones, and then Hans comes out, a giant collection of hands, and then either A, this freaks everyone out, or B, they shoot us to Kingdom Come. What if I remember correctly, is essentially a zombie virus that someone in the Empire has notes of about how it turned out terribly wrong and didn't get specifics of, or B, I go back on the ship and ask the rest of them want to get off. Or
I would say
Well,
just
we can
start
do
calling for
introductions.
undead minions and wait until something happens.
So you're basically saying our plan is either surrender or pray they haven't heard of Blackwing.
Well, okay. The two homunculi can be mistaken as alien creatures by how different they look from humans.
I'm just talking about the zombie hands.
Yeah, the zombie heads.
Yeah, that one is literally just pray they haven't heard of Blackwing.
What to say? Amiria will give like a signal, I guess, and then introduce like the two little homunculi as they kind of like. I
Waddle.
guess Ivan would fly out and and Isaiah would just waddle out.
Okay.
I can't help but picture one of them just sort of flying out in a kind of like almost like their body is perfectly perpendicular to the ground, but their wings are just flapping like mad. while the other one's waddling like a freaking Tonberry.
I guess some introductions are in place. My name is Amiria West. These are my two constituents. This is Ivo. Ivo waves his hand, and this is Isaiah. Isaiah just nods. And you might be.
The armored man does not answer your question. Instead, he looks beyond you. The rest of you as well. Scans indicated 5 living beings and 2 droids.
Can the rest of us up near the cockpit hear him that well? Because he's down by the boarding ramp.
Yes, you can hear him.
Yeah.
Okay. We best go then.
Did the scans
Oh,
indicate
better
that these
idea.
two things were living things or no?
It actually did not pick up the undead things, and it did not pick up. It also did not pick up the combat drone, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's more a creation of hard light than it is a droid.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Legion and
dispel-
Arsene, I assume, are the two
I'm going to dispel
droids.
the combat drone real quick, and so that way I can easily resummon it.
Mhm.
It I'm
What you know on the ship is Han's gonna have to pilot the ship.
A swarm of hands piloting a ship.
Hans, fondle the controls.
They don't have eyes. How can they tell which button to press?
And they initiated the self-destruct. Well, the good news is they don't have a hangar anymore. The bad news is we don't have a ship, and you don't have Hans anymore.
It'll take me a while to get that many more hands.
And then we get to like the next planet, and you're just like, oh my god, they have severed hands on sale.
I don't even have to
The
touch
Grievous
the graveyard this
collection, no
time.
less.
just 5 hands for 25 cents. What a steal.
Anyways.
Yeah, so I suppose start making the way out.
Mhm.
Doesn't seem like we have much choice.
Oh, it
Guess.
does.
Yeah.
Clunk.
March
clunk,
myself and
clunk,
Legion out.
Clunk. I'll be coming up behind Legion.
There's the rest of you. You know. You really should have.
My
I'm trying to think of exactly what he would say because I'm trying to do a thing that would make sense, but
Yeah.
There the rest of you are.
So, where's the escort? I was told there's going to be an escort.
That I just
Where's the
smacked
fucking
Vagar.
escort?
That was
Hey,
last
no,
planet,
no,
you
where-
idiot.
Where is the fucking escort? I was promised an escort. Where's?
The armored man ignites
He
the
was promised an
lightsaber,
escort.
and very forcefully says, "Shut up."
I
I'm trying
turned to
to
him
use
and be
that
like,
because I mean
I immediately
He's
that
saying
turned
that
to
could
him
to
and I'd be
all
like,
of you. He's saying that to all of you, by
that
the
could
way.
work.
He's saying that to all of
Oh.
you, by the
Yeah.
way. So
Oh no, Baker's still going.
uh,
uh,
If you're using that, I mean, we can make it work.
I smack Vagar in the back of the head,
The
more forcefully
the
this time.
the
I'm gonna have Legion quietly send his record feed of this gentleman directly to my HUD.
mhm.
You know, stealthily stealth check.
Yeah.
Stealth check.
Make a sleight of hand check from Legion.
All right.
We're
I mean,
going to deal with this. I might as well see who I'm paying for
be
without the
hard to-
helmet.
My hand on the back of Vagar's head gets uncomfortably tight.
Where is he?
I'm like squeezing the back of your skull.
There's Oh, you're
Like,
better at
I'm not
that
full
than I
on like
thought.
Spartan strength in your head right now
Yeah.
because I would crush it like a grapefruit. But
Yeah.
you definitely know my hand is there, and it is
Yeah.
in your head.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing him. Whatever. I'll just Milu. Ooh.
Well,
okay.
time to die.
You do get the picture. Very fuzzy. This is the echo. Well, this
Yep.
is a
He's
echo.
down.
However, however, he looks over at Legion. What are you taking pictures for?
Goodbye, Legion.
We want to make sure we're coming from what we've paid for.
Was the
If you don't
If it
shut up,
correlates.
Vagar, I'm gonna
Match-
You
crush
shut
your
up.
skull.
Let me see.
Do it.
Vagar, your wife.
It's okay. It's okay.
Um,
She'll understand.
If you don't
let's
shut
see.
up, I will kill you where you stand.
Okay.
Well, if you want to,
Ugh.
let's save the steamy talk for later.
Vagar, make a wisdom saving throw. Actually,
I was gonna
see
try
if you
something, but I guess
if
not.
you believe his if you believe his threat. He is threatening you. Make a wisdom saving throw.
I know. No.
6.
You are frightened of him.
Yeah. It's like okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Finally.
No,
My finally does come off as whispered, but he can definitely hear it.
no, no. You're clearly not from around here. I can't put my finger on it, but something is off about each and every one of you. You don't seem to have any connection to the Force.
Excuse me, the what?
Hi? He points the lightsaber at you. Doesn't actually say anything, just continues talking. This is interesting and is worthy of research. He turns to a group of troopers near him. Take them to the brig and take those 2 droids to have restraining bolts put on them.
Not sure how well that's gonna work for Legion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Legion's gonna be like, they stuck a magnet on me. What does it do?
Like, I'm genuinely not sure how. Like, would it restrict only one of his programs?
Maybe just the region where the bolt is on, like if it's on his left arm, be like, I feel
I mean,
like
that
my
is
arm
also
is
a good
moving
question.
through
Where are they gonna
jello.
put it? He has a massive hole in his chest.
Alright,
Maybe he'd be like, it feels like my arm is wading through jello.
yeah, one of each of the purge troopers comes up behind each of you and as their leader just walks off.
Yeah.
And retracts the lightsaber and puts it back on his back where it goes, because that's where it goes on the Inquisitor. On an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is wearing a cape, so you don't see it when he puts it behind the
Yeah.
cape. But
Yeah.
anyways, the purge troopers kind of shove you forward. Let's go.
Oh
When
shoot!
they shove me, my
Oh.
arm just sort of flops because there's no way a purge trooper is pushing a half-ton Spartan. They can
Yeah.
push, and
Well,
it's like pushing a wall.
they still like
Yeah, they
shove
still
you.
move, and I still move forward, but their shove does nothing.
Yeah. I'm trying to go where they make me go.
Yep, they
Mhm.
take you down
I-
to
I mentally signal for Hans to find. I don't know if there's a broom closet on this ship, but if there is, to get Hans and Jasper somewhere where they won't be found and play dead.
All right, the purge troopers lead the group of of like living people to a cell where they shove you inside, and then you see a reddish like energy field appear in the doorway,
Hmm.
and you see that two purge troopers stay outside the cell as guards while the rest leave.
Did they
That's a
put us in
handy cell
manacles?
door.
What?
Did they put us in manacles?
No.
Okay.
Turning off my exterior helmet speaker, just using the internal helmet mic, I just send it to Nilo because he's the only one with another helmet that would have a mic and not a radio
Yeah.
that would start squawking. And I just ask, so any ideas for how to get us out of here? I do have the nuclear failsafe in the armor, but that was a one-way trip.
I'm more concerned why you can't just exit, take that off, and then use that separately.
I could take the armor off and use it as a bomb to leave it behind. But like I said, do you have any other ideas?
I'm thinking.
How big?
Re-examine the situation. So there's two guys outside, yeah?
Mm-hmm. And they took R7 and Legion elsewhere.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me see what. And I haven't lost connection with Legion, have I?
Nope.
I'm gonna move somewhere. First of all, I'm gonna check to see where they've got a cam,
Mm-hmm.
and then see where to basically kind of maneuver myself so they can't see exactly what I'm doing with my arm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll like stand up to block the camera view.
All right. Make a sleight
There's
of
the
hand, make a sleight of hand check at advantage.
Now, how good is Nilo at these? Oh, right. I made Nilo actually pretty good at these
nice.
because of the whole sneaking parts thing.
I can't use reliable skill to help other people.
Oh, right. Advantage.
Sad.
16.
The dice have spoken.
17 will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't. No one seems to notice what you're doing.
All right, cool. I'm going to begin the. All right. First of all, let's connect to Legion, see what's going on his end.
Well, they figured out that restraining bolts don't work on Legion, so instead they just physically
Cyber creature.
restrained Legion.
Oh no! I just realized they put a restraining bolt on R7. There's gonna be hell to pay.
Yep.
Would I know what my guys are doing back on the ship? Have they already?
Yes. They found their way into one of the ship's secret compartments and they have not been found.
Okay. They haven't blown up the ship yet.
No.
Good.
Oh,
How big
All right.
are the bars? Could you say a hand could fit through?
There are no bars. There's an energy field in front of the in the door.
Oh, an energy field. Okay, that was
okay.
like
So,
energy bars or
how
something.
specifically
I forgot
did
how
they
they look.
restrain? How specifically did they restrain Legion?
Probably manacles with them looped through looped like around a pole.
Okay, I can work with this. So Legion's gonna wait for them. So I'm gonna send a few minor instructions. Give Legion some pointers so that he can start sneaking around the place. Because, well, okay, it doesn't specifically say that he.
I should mention that R7 is also in the same room as Legion,
Yeah.
as well as a pair of purge troopers.
Oh, okay. So those purge troopers haven't left yet, huh?
Yes, they are guarding the droids because one of them is a type of droid they've never seen before, so they make sure to guard it. And
Yeah.
restraining bolts don't work on it.
Yeah. I was gonna say because it technically it doesn't say on my character sheet that he has this, but I don't see a single reason he wouldn't have this.
What is it exactly?
Oh, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say he should also have an Omni tool to be able to.
Oh yes.
To be able to heat the manacle off.
Yeah, I should mention that they did confiscate your weapons, by the way. Like
Yeah.
Bradley's shotgun and pistol.
I assume so.
Yeah, that's why I was basically only counting on what I had on my Omni tool because
Yeah.
So shotgun,
they ain't
pistol,
disarming
and
that
sword,
thing.
or no?
Shotgun, pistol, and sword on Bradley. Both of Vagar's swords. Emiria's shock prod. Legion
Various
sniper rifle.
collection of strange medical tools.
Probably also my knife, because that's
Yeah.
sitting
Your
permanently
knife. Celia's bow.
strapped to my chest plate.
So, let's see.
All right. Okay, so what are we down to? We're down to outside resources at the moment.
Yeah. So what
Also
we
because we're
really
inside
need
a
is
trap.
we need something to to cause those guards to go away, so I can have Legion start sneaking around.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is your homunculus that are outside. Your little Hans. You know what?
Yes.
Maybe you should make them start to think Blackwing's happening.
You know, there's one thing that you're not realizing that you could totally do.
Oh, wait. Do I have a thing to? I mean, because I don't see a single reason it wouldn't be jammed, so we can't call Skirvo.
Oh yeah, we could just be doing that.
That wasn't what I was referring to.
Okay.
Legion isn't alone in that room.
Yeah, I know.
He could just pluck R7's restraining bolt off.
Yeah. Problem is how to do that without alerting those guards. Let's see. Legion needs to.
A bigger question would be: is it just the hardware platform that is that gives Legion his immunity to restraining bolts, or is it also just Geth AI software? Because if it's part of it's the software, then he could wirelessly upload some of his runtimes to R7 maybe, and then just have R7 like shake it off or smack it off or something.
More interestingly, I'm interested. What are Legion's options right now? Let's see. Okay, so what all is in the room with Legion?
There's the There's the two droids. Well, there's the droid, obviously. There's
Yeah.
let's see. There's the two guards that are just at the door. There's one of those like droid dismantling racks, and some other areas with tools and such. Did I lose you again?
No,
No,
I'm
no,
thinking.
we're
Oh,
thinking.
okay.
Thank
I,
you.
He's
I was
thinking, I'm
I was
thinking.
I was like, did my internet die again?
No. I'm
you're
thinking.
good.
I'm thinking. We got let's see. What can Legion use to connect? Is Legion able to connect to any remote systems of any kind?
No,
Okay.
because this room would naturally be like shielded against that, because I'm sure there's
All right.
Star Wars droids who can also do that.
Fair enough. There is. Let's see.
Through our helmet com chat, I asked Nilo if she can get a scan of the structural schematics of this room.
I have an. Let's see. Let me look at what Legion's powers are again.
All right. Quick question: how big is Celia? Because
She is average sized for an elf woman. So
Okay, is she taller or roughly the same size as Emiria?
taller than Emiria.
Okay.
Yeah, she's probably 5'9" ish, something
Okay.
like
You know what?
160 pounds.
all right.
You know what? I could more or less sacrifice the Legion platform, because since they can still connect to me, the programs can flee to my Omni tool if needed.
And we can recollect the hardware platform on our way out.
And if we aren't able to do that, well, tough tits. I can always make something for him later.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have Legion break himself free and, on his way out, do something to break off the restraining bolt on R7 and distract both of those guards, while R7 goes off to do horrible things to this ship.
Mm-hmm.
Just horrible things to this ship.
Yep.
That is. If there's one thing that'll piss off that droid, it is putting a bolt on him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Crazy idea that I don't know if it would actually work.
yeah.
Have basically it's through a series of wireless transfers. That's the only way it's going to work. Basically, a split off fragment of Crusader to act like a computer virus that I transmit to R7 by transmitting it to Legion first, by transmitting it through Nilo's suit system computer,
Not sure that's going to be necessary.
and then have R7
I want to point out R7's
just
original
upend
class
the
was
Millennium he wants.
R7's original class was Slicer. So he is specifically
Okay.
made for this kind of thing in the system he was in. So honestly, once we get him to go ham on the systems, there's honestly no reason for us to do anything.
Yeah. My other plan with the structural schematics was if there's a ventilation vent, depending upon who was smaller, Celia or Emiria, we just sneakily get the smallest one into the ventilation vent to basically
I
hop
mean,
out.
I'm the smallest one, but
Yeah.
You are? I thought Emiria was slightly
no,
smaller
it's
than you.
me.
No,
Emiria is
no,
like
no.
3 inches taller than me.
Oh, okay.
I'm 5
Okay.
nothing. Emiria is like 5'3". Or 5'5".
Okay. I had that backwards then.
No.
And that flipped.
I'm tiny. I'm
Okay.
small. I'm small.
We just throw you, and
I
you're the
can
tech
deny
whiz
no
anyways.
longer. I'm small.
Into the ventilation shaft. You climb around outside while the guards are distracted from the R7 Legion shenanigans, and you just lower the shield door. And then
If
we
I
do that classic,
could.
that classic move that's in Rebels, where I just walk up behind the two. Well, I guess in this case, purge troopers instead of stormtroopers, and smack their helmets together.
Maybe. Don't know how well
Wookiee
that'd
or
work
Lasat
against these
strength.
guys, but anyways, let's
I should mention one thing. R7 did see another R7 unit on his way in.
so if he gets loose, he'll blend in.
Yes,
The
that was
goose
that.
is
I mean,
loose.
obviously he used to be Imperial, didn't he?
No. But my god, does he look Imperial.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the thing. He was actually originally owned by some rich princess who got raided by a bunch of pirates, and he was sold off several different places.
Ah.
Yeah, no, he has a backstory that would very understandably make anybody a spiteful little bastard.
Mhm.
And so he's a crazy little. So again, so let's see. We will have once. Okay, so once again, I'll have Legion. So should I go ahead and just?
Make a technology check to do the thing you're trying to do with the Omni tool.
All right, because yeah, I'm gonna go. All right, we're doing this, I guess. We're
We're gonna have to do the combat theater of the mind because I don't have a
yeah.
thing prepared for it, nor do I even have tokens for purge troopers. It's been a really messy week, so I haven't been able to really prepare this session properly. Sorry.
It do be
That's
like
all right.
that sometimes.
Mhm.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
It's not really crazy
Basically,
subject.
he's just using it like. Basically, he just immediately used its ability to create a superheated thing to just sort of heat the metal so that he could easily just snap it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, sure.
being a Legion, he's unaffected by such paltry things as temperature.
Yeah, so he
Well,
he
you'd be affected them marginally, be like, my conductors aren't working well, it's too cold or
Yeah.
something.
yeah, he breaks the cuffs. The troopers do turn around as soon as they hear that tink of the cuffs breaking. So we're gonna do a quick little initiative roll here.
All right.
Shoot. You should have done backup.
What?
Right.
Oh, right. I need to
Unless it-
roll initiative. I
should've
suppose I'm just
brought
using
backup.
Nilo's initiative.
Yeah, you would be using. Actually, no, it would be Legion's initiative. So, but Legion does get proficiency with initiative, so it's the
3 plus
initiative.
dex.
Yeah, it's 3 plus dex. So just
Then
whatever his stealth roll is, do that.
Then again, I don't know
Let's
how
see.
Hans could sneak around a ship,
Wow,
not
it's
being able to
literally
see
his
anything
stealth roll.
outside of 20 feet.
I did the math, and then it was
Like a cop on
literally
a
his
mouse
stealth
droid.
roll. Like, what the heck? Man, Legion, you're not rolling well.
Here's R7.
Why do you think I keep benching you?
Oh geez, R7 got a 21.
Little psychopath.
He's chomping at the bit. Hannah was in one of the sessions where I was playing R7. She remembers how sadistic the thing was. She never saw the session where he actually hacked into a droidica and then proceeded to have it turn on everybody.
I'm kind of picturing like a younger, more vengeful Chopper.
It's closer to R2 in that one comic where he hijacked an Imperial Star Destroyer, specifically the one Darth Vader has.
All right.
He basically hijacked the whole thing just to get C-3PO back and caused untold mayhem on it, and then out flew Anakin.
All right. Here's Purge Trooper number 1.
Yep.
Number 1.
19, and here is Purge Trooper number 2, 9. Okay, so it is Purge Trooper number 1 up first because, well, R7 is still restraining bolted.
Yep.
The trooper turns and immediately shouts at Legion, "Halt, droid!" He doesn't know that that's not going to work, obviously, but
Yeah.
he tries it. So Legion.
First order of business, going to wait. Legion doesn't have multi-attack, I bet. Oh no, he does.
Mhm.
So Legion is going to use the first of his multi-attacks to I suppose I'll do this. Man, if only I could, but I doubt it would work with their helmets because yeah. Yeah, no, it probably wouldn't work with their helmets. Their helmets filter out a bunch of crap. Anyways, I'm going to. Oh. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and have him whack off that restraining bolt on R7.
Okay. That will take an action to whack that off, to be clear.
Okay. Well, shoot, that limits my options a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
But
I don't
on
know
the
how
other
much health
hand,
these guys have.
psychotic R2 droid, R7 droid, whatever.
Yeah. You know what? Legion's just gonna. You know what? Because this would technically not be an action, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the restraining bolt, but also Legion's going to fully brandish his Omni Blade,
Okay.
making himself clearly the bigger target.
Okay.
Because his next move is going to be to rend.
Okay. So it's the other Purge Trooper now who is clearly able to tell that, that ain't gonna work. So he draws an Electro Staff.
Mm.
And he's gonna come up and start taking swings at Legion.
Yep.
So first attack, I just realized it's a public roll. 18 to hit.
I should pull up my other sheet that I was using to track Legion's health. Let me double check. Yeah.
We set them to private rolls here. So 18 to hit with the first attack, and the second attack is a no.
Okay. Jeez. Ah.
That is
One of my
12.
rates.
That is
One
12
of the
lightning
erasers I
damage.
used fell down. 12?
12 lightning damage, yes.
Yikes. Okay. R7 needs to get lost.
I have our 7
Legion's not
stats,
gonna,
by the way, just so you know.
Legion's not gonna be able to take much of this.
Mhm.
Okay. I had to pick up my eraser. It fell behind my frickin'. It fell behind my desk.
All right, R7. It's his
So
turn. It's R7's turn now. So just tell me what R7's going to do, and I will roll the things for it because I do have his stats, but I don't feel
all
like
right.
going through the rigmarole of figuring out how to get you there. So
All right. So first of all, I need to finish my 12 damage. You say?
yes.
That would be okay. Second of all, my my little psychopathic friend will. His first move is he knows his best strength is his stealth and his ability to hijack systems. So he is going to full on rush out into the first opportunity he gets, he's going to rush out into the darkness so that he can find so that he can get lost in the scuffle,
Mhm.
and so that way, when the opportunity presents itself, he can start hacking into some major systems.
Yes.
Because yeah, he's got a bit of a problem now.
This is the thing he's good at, so we're gonna roll. You know what? Yeah, we're just gonna say that works. It's not a high
Yeah.
roll, but we're just gonna say it works because I think it's a cool plan and I want it to work.
Yeah.
So R7 trundles out, and we'll come back to him after the thing with Legion is resolved. So Purge Trooper number.
Yeah, which is not going to be long.
Yeah, Purge Trooper number 1 here is gonna swing an Electro Staff at Legion. So yeah, 1 hit.
Okay.
That's 13 damage. Legion.
Not going to take much more of that. And it's not really an action for him to do that, so he's just gonna go ahead and copy his. He's gonna go ahead and evacuate to Nilo's Omni tool while leaving a copy of himself to continue the fight.
Okay.
Because he can do that at the speed of light.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that stupid quick. Anyways, so he's gonna do that, and then he's going to go and hit one of them.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Okay, I need to double check what that rend is. 1d10 plus 3.
Okay.
Okay, and hit the other one.
Also hits.
Nice going, Legion. You roll good at the very end.
Okay. Alrighty. Second one attacking you. Miss. And miss. First one attacks. Miss. Does a 14 hit? I imagine it doesn't.
No.
Okay,
He's
back
got
to
a 15.
Legion then.
Come on, Legion, finish the fight. I'm betting
Nope.
no. All right, second attack. Definitely not.
Alright, 1 hit,
Roll the 1.
2, miss, 3,
Okay.
miss, 4, hit.
Okay.
So from those 2 turns, a total of really crappy roll, 9 damage.
Wow. Okay. Expected that to be it.
Alright, Legion.
Okay. Once more.
With
Yes.
feeling this time.
Hit him. Hit him with the good hits. I
Okay.
said good hits. Hit him with the good. Hit the other one with the good hits. I said good hits.
Okay, 1, miss, 2. These guys cannot hit anything. Okay, that one finally hit.
Purge Troopers
I mean, they
are
keep trying
trained
to
to
aim
fight
for the
Jedi
chest.
who are more sword trained than Legion.
And one of
They
those
keep trying
was
to aim for the
one of
chest, but
those.
there's a hole in the chest.
One of those was a critical hit, so that's going to be 22 damage total.
Okay, he's down.
Okay.
Yeah. That platform crumples to the floor.
So
in a
back
heap.
to the main party. Celia, by the way, contacted Skirvo and
Yeah.
She already did that, like before you even got captured.
Yeah.
And told him what happened. So, anyways,
I just lost Legion.
Was that?
However, I
Lost
think
good.
that that little dustbin escaped.
Aha!
Oh, they do not know what they just had released on them.
He had a
Good.
small little he had a he had some I think they called it a restraining bolt put on him. Is
Celia,
that bad?
Celia gives a whistle like, oh.
We're gonna be lucky if we survive what happens next.
A
Okay.
restraining bolt prevents a droid from doing anything, and R7.
He cannot be contained.
Well, let's just say,
he hates involuntary restrictions.
let's just say it's lucky that we're here, because because if it were just him on this ship, he would destroy the entire ship. But with us here, he'll
mean,
try to get us off of it before he does anything too crazy.
Okay.
maybe.
Out of character, I'm saying he's going to do that. This has
Yeah, I
happened.
know.
This has happened before, and the plan is get the rest of the crew off and do as much damage as you can on the way out.
Yep. So,
As if on cue, you hear an alarm start blaring.
Oh.
how much damage could he possibly do?
You
I
imagine
mostly
that's
give
about
Nilo
where
a look.
gravity goes.
you feel the entire ship suddenly rock.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I immediately give Nilo a look that says, "You just had to ask."
I was curious.
You know this ship is going to be walking paper mache, right?
You hear the two troopers from outside. They
Oh!
they're like, wait, is that an astromech droid? What's it doing here? I don't remember anyone saying that a droid would. Oh! They both you see one of them trying to fire a gun trying to fire a blaster, and then you hear a shotgun blast ring out.
I imagine a lot of the internal
Does it
defenses
sound
that are
like a particularly
meant for.
overloaded 8 gauge?
Yes, it
I
does.
imagine there's a lot
I'm
of.
just gonna be like, as I hear this, I'll be like, I
Someone's touching my
don't
gun.
believe it. That
Yeah.
crazy droid is using my shotgun to take
Yeah.
out these buggers.
I want to point out there's also a
Aim for
good
the
chance
chest.
that everywhere else on this ship is having all sorts of other horrifying things happen. Gravity is not working right. Internal traps are triggering on people who are supposed to be in their sections.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, the Inquisitor has no protection against the shotgun.
Actually, he does. Well, he probably does because he's probably in Beskar.
Oh, never mind.
But anyways,
I was like thinking the lightsaber can't block it.
you see one of the purge troopers get knocked down, and he tries to crawl away before you just see him get pulled back, and then you hear
You hear a horrifying whir as he screams and then starts to choke on a wet substance.
I sure hope the body's intact.
and then
I flick my wrist to engage my hard light shield.
He
And
is a
I turn and look
violent
at you and be
little
like,
thing.
"Oh, they're not about to be intact at all."
I love how both of us went the exact same spot. By the way, Joey, we're just
Well, that's because I always made it clear that the one thing that neither Chopper nor R2 did is something R7 would totally do, and that is use his buzzsaw to slit people's throats.
Anyways, you see
evil.
you see the little shield at the door open, and you exit to see R7 dragging behind him what looks like dragging some of your weapons behind him, and in one of his manipulators carrying Bradley's shotgun.
I look at the droid and be like, You know, there are some people that can't handle a shotgun that big. You managed pretty well. We're gonna have to find you one of those.
Bunch of beeping that would actually translate to your meat bags have some good weapons. He may or may not have learned that from a certain psychopath. That specific
Yes,
word.
the original droid psychopath.
Yep. Yeah, no, that, like I said, R7 is alarming in many ways. R7 was one of my favorite droid concepts I did because I love Star Wars droids. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a droid that's the worst case scenario.
I returned my shotgun to the
Yeah.
magnet on my
Right.
back. I grabbed my sword, and I'd be
Was
like,
he able
"I have
to
a
was he able to just start towing Legion's remains, or is Legion still back there?
No, it's not. He's not towing Legion's remains.
Okay.
We should get off the ship as soon as possible. Skirvo, I just got a message from Skirvo. They're on their way back. If we get off the ship, we should be off by the time they get back, and then we can rendezvous and get out of here. R7, you disabled the interdictor, right?
Mutters something about how he wishes he could do more. But someone's squeamish about zero gravity movement.
There'll be time for that later.
I look at R7 and I'm like, you mean everyone doesn't have magnetic boots?
Well,
Wait,
I mean, you don't understand him.
Yeah, you don't understand R7.
Oh, that's true.
None of us understand
I figured
him.
one of you translated.
No, I just figured I might as well let everyone else in on what the little bastard's saying without any of our characters actually knowing. Because he is evil. He is undeniably evil.
I do have an AI that could probably translate binary.
So yeah, R7 leads you down the hall. You see several mutilated bodies.
Well,
yeah.
I won't need any extra
They
hands.
have a lot of
anytime
internal
soon.
hallway defenses. Many of them were quite delightful. There's a lot of blood on this droid.
Are there any locked doors?
Not
no.
anymore.
Okay, I'm like, if there are, I'm just punching the console.
We probably passed by another hallway, and if there were security droids on this ship, they're currently fighting their own crew.
R7 leads you back to the isochronal, and you all.
If there's anyone on board, I instruct, like, what is it, for Hans and Jasper to just break out and scare who's ever there. Do a big
there's no one on board. Yeah, you
don't give anyone any horror stories.
Are we leaving Legion's body behind, or?
Looks like we have little
go back and get it. Oh, all right.
Keep in mind, you're gonna have to come back to this ship eventually as well.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we already know we're going to have to because that's our I'm gonna be. Actually, I hadn't relayed that yet. Because you asked that, are we going back to Legion?
I'm not sure if we were going to have to come back here, or if we were just going to have, like, R7 overload the reactor and blow the ship to Kingdom Come kind of a thing.
Anyways, Nilo's just saying, we're going to have to come back here regardless. That man with the lightsaber, that's our mark.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
You don't. I look at R7 and be like, I don't suppose you can just overload the reactor and blow this thing.
R7 R7 actually found this ship a lot more difficult to hack than usual, and in particular those systems, any systems that would cause the destruction of the ship, if messed with, were actually air gapped, so he wasn't able to hack them.
So they actually have good cyber security. Well, of course, just our luck. Well, let's get out of here before.
I'm none more pleased than you are.
So yeah, you fly these
Little.
Corona aloft. The Duchess seems to appear seems to slam out of hyperspace almost immediately.
Question:
Yes.
how many corpses were I able to pick up? At
You
least body parts.
you and Bradley would have been able to take 2 corpses with you.
Extra metal to work with.
Which includes their armor and their electrostabs, by the way.
Ooh,
Nice.
I'm claiming an electrostaff for myself.
Their armor is not Beskar, though. Anyways,
Yeah, I figured their armor was. I figured it's standard purge trooper armor.
I mean, Purge Trooper
They
armor
just got
is still
plastoid.
does still have cortosis in it, but because it is lightsaber resistant, but
Cortosis is notoriously crappy for any purpose other than resisting lightsabers.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's literally its only positive function. Everything else is just too terrible.
But the electrostaff, that can be useful.
Anyways, you fly away. The Duchess, you contact the Duchess and connect and slave the navicomputer to the Duchesses and jump away. And I think that's where we're gonna end off this session.
All right.
So we may or may not be back next week. I don't even know if anyone watched, but if you did, thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.